Our organization, Match Grove, gives students hands-on experience in the fight against global climate change by setting up nurseries in the classroom. We look at each tree as an opportunity to fund education. Nearly all primary schools participate in fundraising. Why not use a sustainable alternative to raise funds for education? Rebuild a depleting ozone by planting trees and instill in the next generation a importance of education. Anthony will present how Match Grove functions and its effects to offset carbon emissions.
So what Match Grove does, actually, let me get that. So what Match Grove provides is the tools for schools to grow trees and then sell those trees through fundraisers, along with providing hands-on educational opportunities to the kids to promote this environmental awareness that is important for the newer generations. On top of that, we look to network all of the schools so they can see what their progress is and they can have competitions in between schools and just get a hands-on approach to the collective movement of creating ozone. Eventually, we would like to use these profits to go to an international office that will set up nurseries in developing countries and also educate people on how to grow trees in the highly deforested areas in developing countries. We feel this is valuable because the education that we can provide to the newer generations will help to make up for some of the problems that the older generations have created with our carbon emissions. On top of that, it will raise funds for the schools and other nonprofit organizations, as well as creating the ozone that I spoke about. We primarily want to look at elementary to middle-aged schools that are involved with fundraising, but we also want to open that eventually to other nonprofit organizations that would like to raise funds in this matter. The timing is perfect for an initiative like this. It's becoming evident that people are a lot more aware of the environmental impact that they make, and they want to do something about it. This goes all the way up to corporations starting projects to promote their corporate responsibility image. We feel like by offering residents the trees to plant in their yards or to send somewhere else, and then also with corporations for a channel to buy the trees and then find out how much ozone they're creating, I think we could really promote tree planting. I feel like we are different from any other program on the market because we provide the complete package with education, fundraising tools, and also the supplies to grow the trees themselves. On top of that, like I said, we'll organize all the efforts and network so people can actually see how much of an impact they're having on the environment and get an idea for this collective movement that we want to start. I feel like our skills from Tom working in Africa and in Peru on some tree conservation projects, and from my involvement with developing a nonprofit green business association would give us a good base to get this off the ground. And now Tom will talk to you about our business model.
Match Grove functions as a non-for-profit business. We provide the growing tree kits, accredited course-specific teaching material, and fundraising initiatives to the classroom in exchange for donations at the grassroots level from the community. With profits, Match Grove funds international nurseries and mobile education action teams to educate communities with endangered natural habitats. I conceived this project when volunteering at a primary school during the week in Africa, and on the weekends I worked in a native tree conservation project. Although the economy in Tanzania is largely based on ecotourism, there's a disregard for their unique natural resources. I decided to incorporate my two projects to teach my students in the classroom the work of the conservation project I was working on the weekend. By doing this, I started a nursery in the classroom, and we taught the importance of conservation to the students. I believe the fight for global climate change is really going to start with the younger generation.
The plan is to sell the school a grow kit, which would give them the supplies to start their own mini tree nursery. So however long it takes to, we plan to work with some, I guess, tree experts here at the U of I. But as far as we've researched, it takes about 4 months to get a tree to the point where you can transport it and then replant it. So we're looking at a 4-month period, and then the students would sell the trees after that.
Hey, can I follow that up? Pete Marsh here from I think it's a great idea, but the heart of the idea, I think, isn't it, is the comparison and the bonding and the group and the people competing with each other to grow the trees and the scale of the thing. How do you reach that mass quickly? Because that's what you need to make the thing work. And yet, clearly, you can't get that all at once. How do you get this startup going, you know?
We would like to incorporate that into our educational packet for the schools. Again, we want to work with some education experts here and come up with a curriculum where they could incorporate how to take care of a tree and its involvement in sustainability, and bring that together with the entire network that we want to set up that would link them to other schools. You can find out how many trees the school on the other side of town has been planting. You can find out some things that worked for them and just create this community, especially if we get some corporations involved with looking to buy a gross of trees.
Yeah, you could sponsor a whole number of ones.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
What is the path to learn about how to grow trees in deforested areas around the world for the students in, let's say, the United States or UK?
What is the path towards finding out that information? Is that what you're asking?
What I mean is, how does putting a tree, incubating a tree up to a 4-month age in a small pot in UK or USA connect to growing a tree in an
I see.
ecosystem in a developing country in the wild?
I see. Once the profits come in from the fundraising from the schools, we want to set up an international office that would then set up tree nurseries and education programs in these developing areas. So it would be essentially hiring a crew. You know, I'm envisioning something similar to the Peace Corps or something like that, where we send someone as like a traveling salesman to go into villages and educate people and provide some seeds and work it that way.
And why start then in the U.S., UK, et cetera? It's not really...
I see the high potential of school fundraisers. It's like, you know, when you're sitting at your house and the doorbell rings and some kid comes up selling some candy. You weren't thinking about buying any candy before you showed up, but suddenly you bought 5. You know, we want to harness that fundraising potential to get the profits and send them to this international branch. That's why we are going to be set up as a nonprofit organization.